Lee Campbell is a state representative in the 2nd Middlesex District in Cambridge. He is a person who has real compassion for his fellow man. He does not reserve this compassion for any particular race, color, or political party. For example, one evening, the whole Campbell household was awakened at midnight by a phone call. The person calling was a young Democrat. His reason for calling was to sell tickets to a benefit dinner. The proceeds of this dinner were to go to the JFK Memorial Library Fund. Instead of getting angry, or at least a little upset by this phone call at midnight, Lee Campbell very graciously consented to buy 10 tickets to this dinner, since he was aware that this was a cause that he could support. Now, there is a man who will, oh, excuse me, I want to say something. There is a man who is eager to always help out and very reluctant to criticize. Along with his compassion for people, he has a strong sense of obligation to do the greatest amount of good for the greatest number of people. And here again is another story which I think you might like to hear. A group of delegates approached Mr. Campbell one day. They were from a Riverside Neighborhood Association and had a problem which they thought Lee Campbell could help them solve. Lee, incidentally, is a lawyer and was concerned with the problem that these people presented him. And this was it. There was a large lot being occupied by a trucking firm. This lot was on the edge of a congested residential area. The people were concerned about this because there were many children in the neighborhood. The trucks came and went at any hour of the day, and the children's lives were in danger, and the property sometimes was damaged by the trucks. And you well can imagine that there was noise. And all these facts put together can ruin a neighborhood and at least depreciate the value of the property. The neighborhood association thought that if the trucking firm could be made to move, then their neighborhood would not revert to slums, as it very well could happen if the trucking firm stayed there for any length of time. Lee Campbell worked hard on this problem for several months, and he finally got it ready to present to the Supreme Court. And all were very grateful when the verdict came in favor of the neighborhood association. Lee did all this legal work without any thought of compensation, just because he wanted to help his fellow man. He has a discerning way of getting to the heart of the problem and working hard for a solution. I like to tell these stories about Lee as a man. For knowing him as a man, you may be able to trust him as a politician. Oftentimes, we don't get to know the politicians personally or anything of their background. Lee is not running for re-election as a state representative for this reason. Recently, his ward in which he lives had been redistricted and is now included in the 3rd Middlesex District, which is heavily Democratic. Since he wants to continue helping people and serving the public, he has decided to run for a seat in the 2nd Senatorial District. This includes all of Belmont, most of Cambridge, and one ward in Somerville. This means an extra good deal of hard work. because many of these people do not know Lee. If you people have learned a little bit about Mr. Campbell from the stories that I have told you, maybe you too would be willing to work in his behalf. I urge you all to vote for him and to ask your neighbors to do the same. In return, you will get a good senator who will work for legislation which will serve the greatest number of people. Thank you.
All right.